In 1815, Napoleon returned from exile on the Isle of Elba, and he became Emperor of France again for 100 days. The Allies, fronted up by the British, were not going to let this happen, and so they sent a large army over under command of the Duke of Wellington to the continent to defeat him once and for all. Napoleon marched out of Paris north to the Netherlands, and there he met Wellington's army near the village of Waterloo. Now, in the days before the battle, there were some skirmishes between the French and the British, and the British were held by the Prussians. And Napoleon had ordered Grouchy on his right flank to pursue the Prussians and to make sure they didn't join up with their British allies. And so Grouchy took his huge contingent of the army off to hunt Prussians. And so on the 18th of June, the battle commenced. Now, Wellington managed to position many of his troops and took the vital strategic points of the farmhouse and the chateau on the battlefield. Napoleon decided that he was going to attack these key positions and sent troops in. He hoped that Wellington would be drawn down off of the ridge that he had positioned his army on. But Wellington, always a defensive general, didn't. Neither did he send any reserves that Napoleon hoped he would. And the Coldstream Guards bravely managed to hold on to the farmhouse and to the chateau. Then Napoleon decided that he would open fire with his cannon. And there was a huge cannon barrage. They had so many of these new brass cannons. But the cannonballs, as they flew through the air at Wellington's army, hit the ridge that he was hiding behind. And because the ground was soft, it had been raining, the shrapnel shells, when they did explode, just got sucked up by the soft ground, and so didn't do much damage at all. Then Napoleon decided that he would launch a full frontal attack at Napoleon's lines, the front being limited. Now, Wellington again took a defensive position, and he organised his troops into squares, making sure that the front lines were ready to give the volley of fire that they had been trained to do. The front line firing, and then ducking down, or going to the back to reload, and then the next line firing. And this volley of fire decimated the French front lines. Also, with the squares of cavalry at each corner, there were cannon as well, light cannon, which also hit the French line hard. And even if they did penetrate the British front line, then the cannon were at every corner and were ready to decimate them. So the attack failing, Napoleon ordered his troops to pull back once more, desperately wanting Grouchy to come back onto the battlefield. But Wellington didn't chase Napoleon, he held his position up on the ridge. Then towards the afternoon, Ney led a heroic attack onto the farmhouse. Now, at this point, he managed to defeat the Coldstream Guards, who retreated up, and the farmhouse finally became French. Ney waited anxiously for Napoleon to send his troops forward, but Napoleon, on the day, of course, was in a huge amount of pain. His piles were really playing him up, which was causing him all sorts of discomfort. And whether it was this, or whether he was just cross at Ney for acting without his orders, he didn't send any backup. Wellington saw Napoleon hesitate, and he decided that this was the time, and so he ordered a full frontal assault. At the same time, the Prussians, who had managed to escape Grouchy's attentions, joined the battlefield as well at the crucial moment. And so, with the British marching towards victory, supported by the arriving Prussians, the French realised that they had no choice, and they fled. Napoleon was captured soon after and put once again in exile, this time on St. Helena, and was poisoned to death by arsenic in the wallpaper.